Bryan Mbeumo to Manchester United. Is it likely to happen? According to reports coming in now, Mbeumo is still a target for Amorim, Ineos and co. Welcome to the United of Sport. My name is Webb. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment and let me know your view about Mbeumo, this 25-year-old Cameroonian. People were complaining at some point when we were signing Dogo. There is a guy who dropped a comment, I think it was on my TikTok, saying, but why does Ruben Amorim like African players? Why does he like signing African players? And I'm thinking, what's wrong with African players? And this is a Ugandan, an African saying that, by the way. I'm saying, what's wrong? But anyway, Africans can be like that at times, can be fun. There was a guy who commented on my post on TikTok. He was surprised that I can speak my language, Luganda, my vernacular. And he was also commenting in my vernacular, saying he was disappointed that I speak Luganda, but said that in Luganda himself. His name is Mwangi. Africans, we are so interesting. We don't treasure our own, do we? Anyway, not all of us. But guys, what I know about we Africans is we love to learn. Now, listen, if you are out there working in a foreign country, you've got a contract that could be running out soon in a year or 2 or months, you will be running out of your contract. Perhaps you're not sure whether it will be renewed, or even you yourself might be tired of the job you're doing in Qatar, Saudi, Abu Dhabi, wherever you are, and you're looking for a future plan that if maybe I get a plan B, I will not renew my contract. I would want to go back to my country in Africa or wherever you come from. Listen, if you understand how the internet pays and how you can as well build an income for yourself through the internet. If you understood that now, trust you me, you could have your exit plan sooner than you think. Come, learn how the internet pays and what you can practically do to bring in money for yourself through this platform where we always at all the time, every time. I'm waiting for you. My name is Webb. Let's get into it. So, Bryan Mbeumo, the 25-year-old Cameroonian international, is balling and attracting the attention of anyone and everyone. In fact, he's so good that his own coach Thomas Frank has already admitted that they are losing him, and he would understand because he said if he were a coach himself of a bigger club than Brentford, he would go for him because that's how good he is. Now, uh, clubs like Man United have been linked with him. Clubs like Arsenal have been linked with him. Even his teammates have admitted and accepted the fact that they don't deserve him. They have, I think, they're all inclined to the fact that he could leave. Him and Johan Wissa are very much on the target, on the radar of several clubs. But Mbeumo is, I think, top of it. At 25, this boy is, I think, almost at his peak. So he's certainly looking for a move to a club that will give him more in terms of wages, of course, but also a bigger opportunity to win big titles. Of course, he has done tremendously well since he joined Brentford in 2019 from Troyes. He inspired them 2 seasons in to promotion into the Premier League. Now he's becoming again, I think, a record perhaps sale for them because they signed him for a record fee of £6 million. But a few years later, this boy is valued at about £60 million. That's what Man United or Arsenal, who want him, would be asked to pay. So he's there, he's available. This season in 36 games, 18 goals and 7 assists. Incredible, incredible. So they're all inclined to the fact that he's leaving. But where is he going? Man United have been linked with him, but of course, Cunha is advanced for Man United. Could he be an addition to Cunha? Can Man United sign both of them? Again, make them the 2 number 10s, Mbeumo flying in from the left from the left, and then Cunha on the right, and then a striker, either Gyökeres, who I think Man United might be looking to snatch of all strikers around on the market. So if you have a forward 3 of Cunha, Mbeumo, and Gyökeres, isn't that a world beater? Won't they then just need a proper, solid defense? Have a mad on right wing back on one side, and then you have two solid people in the middle. Wouldn't that be a big improvement for Man United? And of course, a good goalkeeper. I still stick to Donnarumma. I'm trying to envision what United would look like and what would mean if Man United signed Beumo, because he's seriously a player United have been linked with for quite some time. And it looks currently that they seem to have figured out where to get the funds to try and finance the deals they want to make for Ruben Amorim. So, and being a left-footed player, and I've told you consistently how Amorim is fascinated by these left-footed players. With these left-footed players, he just loves left-footed players. If you're good and you're left-footed, you have, I think, an edge over the rest who are not, uh, in the eyes of Ruben Amorim. So this guy is, I think, a deal we might want to follow. It could be we could be surprised and add him on Cunha. And again, we've got Anthony and Rashford leaving. Certainly, we would have to sell to be able to finance a deal for him. But I think the sell to buy situation for Man United is not as bad as we thought before. I think the whole cuts and changes of things around the club by Ineos have resulted, I think, in them saving a few funds that can enable them to do some business without selling so many players or so many crucial players in the summer. But even then, if they want to finance a transfer window for the new coach, certainly they might really go ahead and sell players. So Mbeumo is the lad on many people's lips right now. I want to pick your mind whether you think it would be a good signing for Man United, whether he would make sense, or would that be really over concentrating on the forward, uh, on the attack, but not balancing it up in the middle? Because it's very important, by the way, to balance, to balance the team. You can want to have the best attack, but if you don't balance it with the best defense and midfield and ball carriers who are going to get the ball to them, then you will end up having to commit your good attackers to doing a lot of defensive work, and you will miss the best they can give you in terms of attack. You see players like Mo Salah. I'm told Man United want to sign Beumo as the response or the answer to Mo Salah. Salah under Anslot has been told not to do a lot defensively. That's why he's dangerous and killing people up front. So even you, if you bring Cunha and Beumo and Gyökeres, whichever striker, you want to give them players behind them who are going to enable them to exercise their best skill, which is attacking, without really worrying a lot about doing defensive work. Of course, they have got to contribute a little here and there, but you don't want to load that on them. So that's why I think if United want to go all out in the attack, they have got to go all out in all the other departments as well to try and balance it up. I think Arsenal had a bit of balance in their team this season. They just failed to, of course, get the right striker. That was the only missing piece. But in terms of defense and midfield, there was a proper balance in the team. I think Liverpool showed a bit of balance in the team. They have got good balance in their team. Barcelona have got good balance in their team. Madrid have struggled because of the lack of balance. Their forward line is too good, but the midfield and defense are not good enough. So that's the risk that Man United could face. If they sign Beumo and Cunha and maybe a striker, beautiful signings that we would love. If they don't boost the midfield and the defense, then I do think they would end up struggling like Madrid. You're having your Kylian Mbappe scoring hat-tricks for you, but you're letting in 4 easily. It's because you don't balance your team. You're not balanced. You're committed to attacking, but football is not played, by attackers only. Because at that level, you're not going to have the ball all day, all night. The opposition will have the ball, and they have got the quality as well to damage you. So you need to have players to, first of all, limit how much the opposition have the ball so that your good attackers will enjoy more of it. But also, you need to have players who can slow down the attacks from the opposition when you lose the ball so that you pick it up and win it for the good players, the Mbeumos, the Cunhas. So that balance is important. And that's where at times certain coaches have been failing. They go for good individual players in key areas, but don't balance the team. It's about the team looking balanced. There's no one individual or 2 players who will give you all going forward. There is need for a balance. You need individuals who step out of the rest, who will impact games. And of course, if you have Cunha, who is banging in 15 goals and 5 assists as a 10, and you've got Mbeumo, who is banging in 18 and 7 assists, and a striker, definitely you're overloading in terms of the attack. But who do you have to cover them in the back so that they express themselves? That's very important. So that's what you need to bear in mind when you think Mbeumo. But it's a developing story. It's coming back in the media. We're beginning to hear, these links again, and we know that Mbeumo will leave to certainly a bigger club than Brentford. Well, he has done his part, helped them to get promoted. They are now competing a point, I think, away from Bournemouth. They are competing for a place in the Conference League, which they can probably have. That would be huge success. And for a player at 25 like him, if he moves on seeking greener pastures only, I think it's only right that you back him. So I think we need to follow this Beumo deal and see where it goes. But all that can be done. Beumo can be signed. Beumo is a good player. But if Man United does sign all these players and does not sign a proper, solid goalkeeper, I still think it will still look shaky. I'm not saying Onana should leave. I've not completely given up on Onana, but I think Onana needs a competitor, a better goalkeeper who is going to lift him up again. And that goalkeeper, in my eyes, is Donnarumma. And I think Donnarumma, there are people telling me he's negotiating a new contract with PSG. I'll tell you, PSG is not a big club. If PSG wins the Champions League, and I hope they do, I want them to win it. I think they will win it anyway. If they win the Champions League, there is nothing more for Donnarumma to achieve with PSG. At 26, unless he has not got any ambitions in him as a player, even if he says he wants to see out his contract, it's okay. Man United can wait a little for 1 year for Donnarumma. You would rather wait and, of course, fidget with your Onana for one more season. Then he comes on a free. Be patient. He comes on a free because his contract runs out in the summer of 2026. So they win it this season. Even if they don't, he stays for 1 year, finishes his contract, he joins United for free, only pay the wages. He will be 27. For a goalkeeper, that's a baby. I think that's a worthy player to wait for. You can be a little patient with such a player because there are not so many goalkeepers like him. So for me, Mbeumo, good player. If Man United can afford him, it's okay. Bring him on, bring the striker because you add Ahmad to him and all. The team is overloading with attack, but the goal has got to be sorted. So is the defense and the midfield. There is still something missing in there. When that is done, United will look balanced, and maybe then we can start discussing where we are likely to finish or what the target should be for the team next season. This summer transfer window, guys, has got to be well calculated. I hope Amorim is getting his calculations right. My name is Webb. Like, share, subscribe. Fam, come learn how this thing called the internet pays. It can change all of our lives. It will change your life if you understand how it pays and you put in the work. The internet is going to change your life. I can guarantee you. And it's only growing and getting better. You can't be left behind, fam. Not when I'm here. Not when you're my subscriber or follower on the United Hotspot and Ndiba Yoka. Let me catch you later, fam. Cheers.